Okay, reading time. So yesterday I saw a video that for me perfectly described what readers mean when we talk about divine timing. So in this video, I reposted it too. This girl is basically saying that, like when you're in your car and you're following your GPS, if you miss a turn, the GPS doesn't scream at you and tell you you've messed up or that you've ruined everything. It just reroutes you. But in the end, you still wind up at your destination. So this is what we mean when we talk about divine timing. Even if the wrong choice is made or something takes you off your path, you will be rerouted and you will still end up at the destination that you were meant to. So if this person is meant to be in your life and you're meant to be together, you will be rerouted until such time as you realign to each other and find your way back to one another. So regardless of time, circumstances, like distance, culture, whatever, age gaps, choices and decisions that are made that might seem like they're taking you further away from your person, in life, you will constantly be rerouted back to still end up at the same destination. So that's why you shouldn't stress so much when you're worrying about how much time it's been and things like that, because it's kind of like when you see movies or TV shows and they meet the love of their life and then for whatever reason circumstances tear them apart. 20 years go by, they might get married to other people, have kids with other people, but they still wind up back together in the end. So there's that message I felt like needed to get out there as well, especially for people that, me for instance, if you like tarot and things like that, and you might have your own cards. Me personally, I have always made the choice to not read my own cards for me in my life, my energy. One, because I could never be objective enough to see it clearly. And two, I don't want to run the risk of assuming something's going to happen that I've misread my own cards, as well as if I'm asking questions about myself and then I get cards that I don't like, it would cause me to spiral. So my personal belief is it's not healthy to read your own energy, even if you read cards. It's kind of like a therapist. A therapist would have their own therapist that they go to. They wouldn't therapize themselves, you know what I mean? So if you're a reader, for instance, and you try to read your own cards, especially if you believe yourself to be on the divine journey, like twin flames, you're too close to the situation. And this is also why I bring up therapy a lot in my general readings, because it doesn't matter what culture you've come from, your upbringing, whatever your situation is, in your mind or in the people around you's mind who might say, you don't need therapy, you have us. Again, too close to the situation. You might argue, why would I pay a stranger to listen to my problems when I can just go to my family? But where did your problems originate from? Sometimes paying a stranger to sit there and objectively hear everything that's happened to you and give you different perspectives and coping mechanisms is something your family could never give you, especially as the ones that caused you to develop the problems that you have now. How are they going to give you advice? So with that being said, I feel like this needed to be said because I've been seeing a lot of things where people are writing comments on readers' pages about, oh, you always say they're coming back and they never come back. Not every reading is for you. Even I follow one tarot reader on here. And I think there's lots of genuine good tarot readers on here. But for the most part, most of the time, I scroll past every tarot reading. Because for me as well, it's not good for you to constantly fill your mind with a million different tarot readings. Half of them are going to be what you want to hear, and half of them are going to make you spiral because it's telling you that this person's cheated and this and that. Like, it's all just, you're overburdening your mind. So, for instance, if you get a good reading and it leaves you with a good feeling, then don't watch any other tarot that day, because that obsession, that addiction to tarot can be very unhealthy too, because you're getting so many mixed messages. My personal belief is as well that it doesn't matter who the reader is. Any reader that says, if this came across your For You page, then it's definitely for you, that's unhealthy. My personal belief is I don't like when they say that, because you should still always, even if they say it's definitely for you, if it's come across your FYP, still use your discernment. Or if you know that tarot readings have been upsetting you a lot, try to scroll past them. Get into a habit of, as soon as you realize it's a tarot reading, scroll. Don't doom scroll yourself into a hole, basically. So I felt that there was, for whatever reason, whoever's watching this might need to hear this if you're obsessively watching tarot readings, especially if you're someone that comments on a lot of tarot readings too. Not everything's going to be for you. That's why these are general readings. It could be meant for one person, but we put those readings out there in the hope that the universe will direct this message to even that one person that is supposed to hear it that day. So yeah, what's for you will never pass you by. Even if something's delayed, you will be rerouted. That was the first message. Second message, I believe that you should not read your own cards. It's not healthy. You can't give yourself therapy. You would pay for, even a therapist, a psychologist would pay someone else to be their therapist, their psychologist. So same for me, that my belief is the same with your cards. And 3, don't doom scroll tarot readings, because you're just going to confuse yourself. If a reading leaves you feeling confused and upset, that's not good for you. You should be left feeling, even if it might not necessarily be like he's coming back, if it leaves you feeling uplifted and have hope for the future and maybe some things that you can work on to better yourself, that's what you should take away from it. Because I think there's a lot of fear-mongering on here. And you can tell by the types of comments people leave when they say, I'm not going to take him back and all this kind of stuff. And I just read those comments and I just think, well, then why are you commenting on this reading? It's obviously not for you if you don't want this person back. But you clearly do care, because you cared enough to be aggravated by the reading and leaving a comment. So just a bit of self-awareness is needed here, self-reflection, and at the end of the day, whatever tarot readers you genuinely like and feel like resonate with you on here, in the end, people put readings on here because they want to hopefully reach the right people, but as well reach the people that, if they resonate with you and you can afford it, to get personal readings. So, somebody needed those messages today. Maybe you needed a bit of a kick in the bum to be like, stop doom scrolling tarot. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to open today's reading with a card to meditate on. It's very general. It's not specific to anyone. Whatever cards come out of this deck is a message that needs to be, it's like planting a seed in your mind to think about what message this is and how it applies to you in your life. And if you are someone that meditates, it's something you can meditate on. Okay, so what is a message you'd like to plant in people's minds today, please, angels? Oh, 2, water and transformation. That's good. All right, so you've got water and you've got transformation with the butterfly here. I actually really love those two colours together. Orange and blue is really pretty together. And also you might have a butterfly tattoo. That kind of reminds me of those like tramp stamp butterfly tattoos, or I'm seeing a butterfly tattoo on like an ankle. So that could be significant to you. Okay, so water, let's have a look. Number 8 and number 8, oh, 18 and 19. Consecutive numbers. Emotions. So maybe your emotions are running high right now, and that also might be why you needed to hear this message about tarot readings in general, because it's affecting your emotions too much. Emotions, receptivity, and a connection to bodies of water. Drawing this card is a symbol of connecting to your emotions regarding your question or situation. Allow yourself to be open to any changes of direction, transformation, and let the element of water guide you in the right direction. Meditate with this symbol by a body of water, in the bath, or with a vessel of water. Even if you have a glass of water, do that, to help keep the emotions pure and assist you in being more flexible. So this is the water alchemy symbol. This is literally the symbol for water, the reverse triangle. Okay, going into transformation, the butterfly, which encompasses it perfectly. You go into the cocoon, and then when the cocoon breaks open, you're this beautiful butterfly. The butterfly goes through many stages before it becomes the beautiful creature it is. Honor your process and allow your beauty to be seen by all. Wear more color to help you announce the arrival of your exquisite transformation. Meditate on this when you want to call in more beauty, grace, and acceptance during times of transition. The butterfly is a powerful symbol of transformation. So again, you might have a butterfly tattoo, or you've been planning on getting one. But as well, these might be colored, because orange is the color of confidence, and blue is, and it's also, which makes sense because as far as chakras go, orange is the, not solar plexus, that's yellow, the sacral. So you've got root, sacral, and solar plexus. Orange is the sacral, so that's your confidence, your passion, your sexual desire, that's your sacral. So orange is about your confidence and your self-worth. Like, you are beautiful regardless of what other people might have said to you or your own insecurities. You are beautiful and you have beauty within you, and you need to shine that confidence out into the world. But I was going to say as well, and blue is the throat chakra, so expressing yourself. Blue and orange might be colors that you have started to wear a lot more of lately, and they say the colors that you feel drawn to, especially with how you dress or your accessories, whatever, is a reflection of the transformation you're going through. So if you're transforming through your emotions right now, you might be feeling drawn to orange and blue a lot. Or this might be a sign for you to wear more orange and blue at the moment to help bring that energy in of transforming your emotions. Okay. Come on, get in there. Okay, so let's get what energy is around you right now. What is on the mind of this collective right now, please? Okay, experiencing a breakup. So that could be a big part of why you're going through this transformation. It doesn't have to be that you could have freshly gone through a breakup, or it could be something that you've been going through for a while. But a breakup is something that's definitely on your mind right now, something that you're contemplating at the moment. You're having a lot of memories, perhaps, of how a breakup happened or what you went through surrounding a breakup. Moving, okay. Distance and moving. So through a breakup, there was distance created here. where you had to move. And this is something that's heavily on your mind right now. Something around a breakup where there was not just emotional distance created between you and this person, but physical distance where you had to move and start over again. It could have been a situation where you moved for this person and then it fell apart and you had to move back home again. And this is heavily on your mind right now, something where you really had to rebuild your life. But you are at a physical distance to this person as well as emotionally distant. So whoever this is for, what's on your mind currently is the aftermath of this breakup. You're going over the breakup in your mind, the distance that it caused emotionally and physically to this person, and that you had to move away. So you lived with this person. All right, divorce. And you may or may not have been married to this person, actually went through a divorce with them, but air sign. So you are very much overthinking this situation right now. For that to confirm divorce, you could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but for that to confirm divorce, you're very in your head about it. You're overthinking the situation right now. And perhaps even before, when I mentioned about how if someone is meant for you, they will realign to you, even if a decision or a choice makes you feel like you've been put even more distance between you and this person. You're being rerouted and you still will end up back with this person. It's just delayed in some way. So the transformation of your mind is realizing that whatever choices and decisions I make, if this person's meant for me, they will eventually realign and we will come back together. Trying to train your overthinking mind to not spiral out of control with what ifs. Distance. Intimacy. So even though there's distance here physically and emotionally, you still feel so much chemistry with this person. You're reminiscing. You've got a lot of memories around this person. And even though there's been distance put between the two of you, you still feel such a magnetic pull to this person, and you can't deny it. It's something where it's like this person just cannot leave your mind, even though you might not have even spoken to this person for a long time. And the distance here hasn't changed the intense chemistry that you have with this person, the deep spiritual bond that you feel you have to this person. And in your mind, you're thinking that it has to be some kind of divine connection for me to not be able to let this person go. Move on under moving. So you felt like when this was done that you really were moving on with your life. I'm seeing that card, the Grim Reaper card. It's over, no second chances, grow and transform your life. You really thought when this ended and you separated from this person that was it, that was the end, and you were going to do everything you could to move on from this person and never go back. And it could have been a big change for you, especially if you lived with this person and the chemistry was so intense, but for whatever reason, the issues here are still playing on your mind about how this all went down. That regardless of the distance that's been put in place here physically and emotionally, it hasn't changed. If anything, it's intensified your feelings for this person. You know, that whole distance makes the heart grow fonder. But you weren't trusting your intuition here. I think you're going over the fact that your intuition was clouded by your fear of how intense this connection really was. So, and I just heard as well, the red flags that you thought were in this person were actually in you. So you had red flags that were being reflected back to you in this person, but you saw them as the red flag, not what it was bringing up in you. And the red flags also that you were ignoring were the people around you that you were getting advice from as well. Okay, let's break this down. What is this connection, please? Mirrored connection. So again, when I just said before about how this person was reflecting to you your own red flags, but at the time, because it all seemed too much and the breakup happened, you saw this person as the red flag, but it was actually your own red flags that you were presenting, that they were reacting to. Love call. So you might be wanting to reach out to this person. But what is this connection, please, that's on this person's mind? Unconditional love. Soulmates. So this is it, because this is the universe. I'm asking the universe, your angels, what is this connection? This is a soulmate connection, a partnership agreement, like a soul contract. Your souls agreed to be together in this lifetime. Again, no matter what happens, you are destined to come back together. You'll just be rerouted until you're both aligned to come back together. But this connection is one of unconditional love. Affection, attraction, passion. There's so much passion here, but this soul contract, even though a breakup, or maybe you've had many cycles with this person, there's been a lot of breakups and makeups, but it's been teaching you self-love, things that you needed to heal through. And that could even be a big part of why in the first part I had to speak a lot about going to therapy, and that perhaps whoever you surround yourself with have the attitude of, why would you pay a stranger when you can talk to us? But those people are the ones that broke you. So therapy, I think, is something might be a reoccurring theme here, but let's keep going. This is someone that you have unconditional love for and that you believe has unconditional love for you. Even though at the time this ended, you really thought this was it. There was no going back. I want to say there's been a lot of time here too, especially if you lived with this person and that either you had to move or they had to move, but there's definitely physical distance here and emotional distance, in that there's been no communication for a long time, and that's caused you to rethink things, because after all this time, even though there's physical and emotional distance, your pull towards this person has only increased. Love call. So it did want to come out. So I think that the universe is saying that if you have been mulling over connecting with this person again or reaching out, that pull to want to reach out and let this person know you're thinking of them and that the love is still there, this is what they're trying to guide you towards. This is what they're wanting for this connection. This is an unconditional love. This is a soulmate connection where communication is what's being guided to you here. Soulmates. Cupid's arrow. Have faith, love is coming. Surprise invitation or meeting, hesitation. So again, this could be you wanting to reach out to this person to meet up, or you're waiting for them. But this is what's being guided right now. The universe, your angels, your ancestors are trying to guide this connection back together. The arrows, it's like I'm picturing Cupid shooting his arrows, but it's kind of like reminding me of a boomerang. So it's like he's shooting the arrows to you and it's ricocheting to your person and back again, like, because it's trying to pull you. It's like a lasso trying to pull you both into each other. Love, self-indulgence. So how I said before about this lesson has been about self-love too, having to reflect on the red flags that were within you and in your surroundings, like the people that you went to for advice and such. This time apart, you've had to go into introspection and really do the shadow work on the things that shadow work isn't about finding your faults and trying to erase them completely. It's about reflecting on the shadow self and learning to accept those parts of yourself instead of trying to repress them so that they become even worse when you're triggered, and incorporating it into your being so that you're not controlled by the need to suppress it. Does that make sense? That you've really been focusing on yourself and trying to do things to heal and taking the time to heal. Love call. So again, this is a connection that is a soul contract, your soulmates. This is meant to happen. The love you have for one another is unconditional, but it's also teaching you how to love yourself too. Love call. Okay, yeah, be lighthearted, finding out things coming to light, adapt, change, heal. You've been adapting to the new version of yourself, you're transforming, learning to adapt to the deep well of emotions you have so you're not repressing them. Again, therapy, especially if you have family and friends that their advice, if you do open up, is very blasé. They don't know how to help you because they can't even help themselves. And that is, again, why I always really recommend therapy, because you get an objective point of view from someone that is just there to help you. There's no ulterior motives. Yes, you're paying them, but it's still a job. They still need to get paid. And it's a very emotionally heavy profession to be in, so they deserve to be paid for their time, but that doesn't mean they're not there to help you. That came out for a reason. So if in your head your reasoning to not go to therapy is, well, they're just going to tell me what I want to hear because I'm paying them, no, you might even feel jilted because they're telling you what you don't want to hear and you're paying them. But ultimately, they're there to help you get over certain things and see yourself clearly. And it's not because they're going to be saying all these negative things about you, but you might tell them things and then they tell you something in return that makes you see things in a whole new light. Adapt, change, heal. Adapt to your new version, change those things and heal through it. That's really nice, because it's almost like, as well, if you are the party that's intending to reach out, you want to express to this person the work that you've been doing on yourself and how much you've changed and healed in this time apart, and how you do see things clearly now. And you want to express that to this person. But there's something here about how perhaps you feel like this person has many options, or you treated this person like they were an option. Maybe you were getting validation from outside sources, and that made you feel like, I'm seeing that card, the grass wasn't greener on the other side. You thought you could do better, and you treated this person like they were replaceable, and they aren't. And you see that now. Because any type of connection you've tried to have since can't be matched, because this is supposed to come back together. This is unconditional love. No one's going to love you like this person loved you. So any kind of connections you tried to have after this to try and move on from this, it just wasn't going to be able to match that energy. Actually, let's see how you view this person that you want to reach out to. How does this collective see their person? What are their feelings for this person? Okay. You want union with this person. I'm not surprised to see that, but you see this as a divine love. You look at this person as not just a soulmate, but this is, again, divinely orchestrated, that this person is meant to be in your life, that this is unconditional love, and that you are meant to share eternity together. But that 3D matrix karmic situations caused this separation to happen, because in your reality, you had decided that this was a toxic situation, but you realize now that there were things that were trying to, or have been keeping you two apart. but you're realizing, because this says real eyes realize real lies. You're seeing through the illusion now that this person was always meant to be in your life and that you were always meant to come back. And then we've got mother wounds. So immediately I think of the whole therapy thing. If you have a mother that said, why would you go to therapy when you've got me? But your wounds that you're needing to heal come from your mother. So any advice she's going to give you is going to be a bit self-serving, don't you think? And those mother wounds are attached to this matrix too. So it's like you're reflecting now on how the healing that you've needed to go through because of damages caused by your parents. Those things are the matrix that has kept you trapped to this outdated thinking, these limiting beliefs that you two can't be together, that maybe friends were part of why you left this person as well. Your friend, if you guys were, say, struggling, obviously you were because a separation happened here, but if you two were struggling and having a hard time and you were going to friends and family for advice and their advice was always to leave your person, not to work it out, or not even to question you and say, what did you do to hurt this person? Because in their eyes, you know that they're always going to make you out to be the hero of the situation and the other person to be the villain. Again, another thing that is a limiting belief that you're seeing through now. These people, even if it's coming from a good place where they just want the best for you, if their advice is to always run when things get hard, you will never truly be happy because you will be running from anything that makes you feel the slightest bit of discomfort. And the blame will always be on the other party instead of reflecting on how you could make things better. So for me, your feelings here clearly show that you see very clearly now how your wounding affected this union. Yeah, control. So I think as well, I'm hearing so clearly, you thought that this connection had too much control over you. You might have even thought your person was controlling and that you needed to break free and that they were pulling too many strings and that your love for them was having too much control over you. Other people might have even said that, you love this person too much, or this person's manipulating you, blah, blah, blah. And because of that, you walked away from someone, what you thought was for forever, leaving them forever, no going back, no second chances, that it was in fact your surroundings that were controlling you and the people around you that were controlling you, not this person. This is divine love. This is the richness that you received when the connection was in balance and you two there wasn't problems. That was the truth of the connection, not all the bad stuff. It's just that healing was needed here. You've got air again, so you're very stuck in your mind about this. Again, I think there's a lot of 3D elements here that make you feel trapped in the mind about going towards this person again, especially when there's distance. Yeah, see, third party flipped over. So you have let third party situations and people interfere with the natural flow that this connection is meant to have, but you're being redirected, divinely protected. So even though you have been bound to 3D matrix limiting beliefs, you have been divinely protected throughout this whole time. You have been rerouted to keep ending up feeling this pull to reach back out to this person because they are your person. And also you feel as though this connection has been divinely protected as well. Mother wounds. Okay, so your mother could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You could be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but there's a lot of fire here, I think, and fire is passion. So not only is this the passion, the fire in your belly to want to be with this person, and how much, again, you got that intimacy chemistry card, how much no one can match that energy other than your soulmate. So that fire in your belly to go towards them, that passion, also I'm seeing it kind of igniting rage in you. If rage is a problem for you, because of rage comes from boundaries being crossed and feeling like your boundaries are being crossed. And a lot of that comes from childhood, because if any time you expressed yourself, it was shut down, you learned to repress your emotions. So then you will repress, and then eventually there'll be the straw that breaks the camel's back and you will explode. So your rage is a big part of your shadow work, especially if it's something you've that came out in this soulmate connection that you weren't. I'm seeing someone who believed that they were only angry because of their person. They weren't reflecting on the fact that they were being triggered by their soulmate, but their trigger comes from their mother wounding. So if they feel like their mother's too reliant on them, financially, physically, whatever, emotionally, that's enmeshment. And also they never really feel like their mother understands them. Whenever they try to speak about things, they get shut down by their mother. All those things cause wounding in you as a child, and then you weren't facing that reality yet. You might have known at the front of your mind that you don't always get along with your mum, but you didn't realize the depth of it until you were with this person and they reflected that trigger to you, but you put the blame on that person instead of your caretaker growing up. I think this is a reflection of what you're going through right now, the realizations you're having and the limiting beliefs that it's created for you around your mother wounds, and how you took that out on this person. And it's not to say your person's perfect either. They would have wounding too. You're mirroring each other, but it's different wounds. Where you felt not good enough, you might have felt criticized by your person too much. It was triggering that wound in you where you're always having to do the right thing by your mother. And so you took out that resentment on your person, and your person might have wounding, say for instance, where they were giving you so much love, but you weren't reciprocating it, and they were being reflected that they need to love themselves more. Does that make sense? But you see them as the one. You've got divine love here and the one. You see them as your other half, your soul contract. You are not going to be able to get rid of this person out of your mind until you resolve the issues within you that need resolving, shadow work, therapy, and come back together, because your happiness is here with this person. You won't feel complete. Yes, there is an element of being your own person and having your own passions and things that you want to achieve in life as an individual, but happiness with your person. Even if you were, say, to meet someone else and try to make that work with that person, this divine love will always be playing in the back of your mind. It's not something that you can escape. Even if you try to do things to distract yourself or take substances, for instance, to try and dull it, it will constantly follow you around, because it is something that you're meant to achieve in this lifetime. And I think heavily that this is something you're waking up to now. And knowing that, coming to the realization that this isn't something that is done, and that there's no second chances. It actually is in fact your person, and you are meant to end up back together. Okay. I'm just curious to see, I want to get to see how much time it's been here, because normally I get an oracle card for the future communication, but I actually want to see if they'll give me a card to see how much time it's been here since there's been communication with your person. So how long has it been since there's been any communication between this collective and their person? Fall. So we're in winter here, so maybe you reached out to this person in, I want to say So April, May, June. No. June, July, August is winter. So it must have been March, April, May. March, April, May, you might have reached out to this person in some capacity. It could have been a text, a call, or even in some way, shape or form you reached out on social media, like DMs or comments or something like that. But the fall, there was some kind of attempt to reconnect in those months. So March, April, May is fall or autumn for Australia. But in general, wherever you are, March, April, May was some kind of attempt to reconnect. And you've got next year. So potentially this is something that can reconnect in the next few months. Because what are we now? We're at the end of August, September, October, November, December. So we've got 4 months left of the year. Isn't that crazy? So there's something about, and I just heard New Year. So something around New Year, I think there's going to be some kind of reconnection because it's not the right time right now. Especially if you're just coming to realize these things. It's like you're having these little epiphanies, but it hasn't been long. This is something new that you're coming into. These are new things that you're realizing. But maybe a special date's about to come up that is making you want to reach out to this person. A birthday, an anniversary. Yeah, in a few days, there's a special date. In the next few days, there's a special date coming up that you're going to want to reach out to this person. Okay. I just want to quickly see how this person views you. So how does this person view the collective? How do they view the collective? What are their feelings here? Red thread bond and union and ghosted. So they feel, ghosted can be feeling there you go, rage. So they definitely feel like you have a rage problem, that your anger is an issue here. But they see you got the one, but you also got divine love with how you feel about them. So you are mirroring each other. They see you as their other half, their swan. In yours, it was flamingos, but theirs, they've got swans, but it's still the same concept. You're their other half. They feel like you're being guided back to each other with this red thread bond. And it's funny too, because yesterday, I've got my candles here, but I have these red threads, and when I was trying to walk past this table, I knocked this over and I nearly lost the red threads, but then I found them again, and it just made me think, I wonder if I meant to do a reading about red thread bond. So it's funny that that's come out. But this person, when they think of you, maybe they ghosted you. Like for instance, with that timing card, if you initiated contact in some way, shape or form and they didn't reply, that's something they're going over. Or they didn't respond in any way, they're going over ghosting you. Or just not, there was some form of contact in those months and that they didn't react to in any way. So whether it was a social media type of contact, you attempted to call them, or you sent a message and never got a reply, there's some kind of ghosting that they're going over in their mind here, but they definitely think you're on the end of their red thread. And they do want union. They see you as their other half. But it is interesting that rage came out, because it definitely means that was a problem in the connection. Breath work, stillness and calm with breath here. So this person, when things are in balance and they feel truly connected to you, they feel calmness. They know in their soul that they're being called back to you, that they know that you're their other half, you are the one. When you know, they are trying to stay centered. And I also think, because this is how they see you, they believe that when this union happens, that you two can find stillness together and that you two can actually calm one another. I saw a video, yes, I love these videos where it says the more you love someone, the sleepier you get around them, because you feel that you feel safe. It's kind of like how when dogs lay on their back with their belly exposed, if they're exposing their belly to you, it means that they feel safe around you. So it's like the sleepier you are around someone, the more relaxed and calm you feel, because you know that person loves you, protects you, and you're safe and secure, so you're able to rest. You don't have to be on alert around them. Red thread bond. Healing, clearing and healing karma. So they believe that you had some serious karma to clear, ancestrally and within this lifetime, especially if rage was something that was a big issue in your connection. But that clearing and healing this karma is part of the journey of the red thread bond. That even though you 555, big transformation coming here, have been separated by space, time, emotionally, physically separated, that is part of this journey that is still leading you two back together. This person has quite an evolved perspective of this connection. They are in stillness and do see you as their person, that you are finding your way back to each other. It's just that there were lessons to learn along the way, and part of those lessons were things that you two were reflecting back to each other that caused the ending of this. And then in your separation, you heal and clear those things so that you can come back together again and make it more of a divine love instead of a wounded love. Ghosted. Crown chakra. So they're conscious, they see you as quite tapped in, that you might have been someone that could read their mind, or you noticed every mood change. Like you were very observant, and anytime you felt like their energy shifted, even if they didn't say anything, you were onto it straight away, and that would create your overthinking mind to go nuts. But they go over that, the fact that your higher self, that your divine connection is at the forefront of your mind. They think that you believe in this too. So that's nice, because how they think you see them as a karmic connection, especially if you saw them as toxic, and that they were the reason you were so unhappiness. They were the root of all your unhappiness and your depression, and they were toxic and all this stuff. This is the category you put them in. But as well, they see that this as karmic people and places and situations got in the middle of you two. So again, if you were going to people in your circle for advice, and their advice was always leave, dump them, then you were never going to grow. But those karmic, you listening to that advice and actually letting this person go and thinking no second chances, this is over, that needed to happen, because otherwise you were never going to receive the karma and lessons needed for you to actually do the self-reflection. It would have caused you to never find self-love, and also you would have kept treating this person badly too, because you both would have kept triggering each other. So it's a combination of them seeing you thinking they're a karmic, not a divine love, but you definitely do see each other as divine love, as well as the karmic interferences here. So this person's very tuned in as well. They're very well connected. All right, let's quickly just see if we can get what they're thinking right now in regards to this connection. What are their thoughts and feelings towards this collective, please? They've got clarity. I think they're sitting in stillness knowing you are their person, and when it's meant to happen, it'll happen. But they're things that they want truths about. So there's things that you've kept from them that their gut tells them that there's things that need to be cleared, and only you can do that. Seek professional advice. So they're going to therapy, but you also need to be going to therapy if you're not already. Especially, and I say this on here a lot, if you have anger issues, therapy is very important. I worry about us a lot, so they worry about the connection. So that's the Ace of Swords and the Seven of Swords. So yeah, they worry about, even though when they're in stillness and they do believe that this is meant to come back together, they still obviously get caught up in the time that's gone by here and worry about whether this is real or not. Ace of Swords. Maybe. So they're on the fence about, because this is their current, like how they think about you. They're on the fence. They're not sure if they're ever going to get the truth from you, if they're ever going to get clarity from you. Well, after I do this, we'll break down what it is that you actually want to communicate to this person. You did get love calls, so you do want to reach out to this person, let them know they're thinking of you, and you've got special date in a few days. So if in a few days there's a special date coming up, whether it's an anniversary, a memory, something like that, your intention is to reach out and to let this person know you're thinking about them. But on their side, they're not sure if they're ever going to hear from you again, or if they're ever going to get the truth or clarity on the situation. I am terrified and to seek professional advice. So I think that they're scared. Again, I keep hearing the rage issues. They want this to come back together, but they're scared that if you are defiant about seeking professional help, that terrifies them, that this will never work out if you keep resisting getting professional help for those rage issues. Because again, if you see this as divine love and you do want to end up with this person, but you're such a stick in the mud about seeking professional help, whether it's individual therapy just for you or couples therapy together, you're not really in a place where you're willing to do anything to make it work then, are you? Because you should be wanting to try whatever you can to make it work this time. I worry about us a lot, but under that, the Ace of Pentacles. So they really do think that a new beginning can be offered here by you if truth and clarity is offered, and if your willingness to get help individually for your issues and together as a couple, with light on the bottom. So I think they do feel that you can not just shed light on the situation and your feelings towards them, but this is like a guiding light. There is things guiding you two back to each other. So quickly, I want to see what it is you want to express to this person. Yeah, you did get love calls, so we know it's love, but I want to get more specific about what is it you want, what messages do you want to say to this person? And then we'll tap into potential future. I'm planning a romantic date, or we can Netflix and chill like old times. I want to cook for you, no strings. So that could be part of the conversation as well, that you want to do things for this person. Remember how I said before about if this person gave a lot of love, but you were not so great at reciprocating, that might be part of the conversation in this love call, that you want to express that you recognize now that you took more than you gave, and you want to give back to this person. Make them feel important. Make them feel like they're not just an option in your life. Although if there is distance, I don't know how. You might be wanting to travel to them, or make a trip. It doesn't have to specifically be Netflix and chill and cooking and stuff, but it's like you want to plan something to do with them. I'm sorry I put my career before you. I'm trying to get out of debt. I'm willing to put in the time and effort now because I don't want to lose you. So you could be trying to get your finances in order. Maybe you've made a lot of bad decisions when it comes to money and your own security and stability in the home that you're working on, and that is part of what you want to express to this person, that you actually are being proactive about creating stability in your life so that you can also have stability in some kind of reconciliation with them. But again, wanting to put the effort in here. So you could be mulling over ways that you could plan something romantic for this person. You really do want to show that you're putting in the effort here, that this is something that you're prioritizing and it's important to you. I can't stop thinking about you. I'm seeing the synchronicities. It's driving me insane. So again, how the universe, no matter what decisions you're making, it keeps rerouting you back to this person because you're meant to be together. So the synchronicities, the name, car, license plates, numbers, places that you went together, just a lot of things are being shown to you right now to the point where you can't ignore them. And especially with a special date, if a special date's coming up, that's bringing up a memory for you as well. And it's to the point, again, where it says it's driving me insane. So they're things that you cannot ignore anymore. I tried to replace you, see? That you could not find an energy to match because it's not meant to. There's no one that's supposed to match this energy because this is your person. I tried to replace you, but it didn't work out because I'm madly in love with you and I was fighting it. I know this is divine. Again, if you know it's divine love, you're willing to put in the effort here to make it work this time. And you're really reflecting on the things that you needed to work on for yourself, to love yourself, so that you can love others properly. And as well, with this, I'm sorry I put my career before you. There could be something around a person in your career that you were heavily influenced by too, that you prioritized above your person. There's some kind of connection to your career and you putting it above your person. I can't stop thinking about you. I'm going through a lot right now. I need space and time to gather my thoughts. So even though you want to reach out to this person, I think you will, but I don't think it's about to, because it's not time. I think it's more about setting the groundwork for a reconciliation here. It's not like you jump from one conversation to immediately you're back together and everything's fine and dandy. It's about, I just heard breaking no contact, so initiating contact again and having a deep conversation, and then slowly developing something, creating a solid foundation so that a reconciliation can happen and it won't feel uneasy. Because especially if there's distance here and if you're trying to get your finances in order, and there was karmic situations here, things need to develop over time, which is why I believe they said now is not the right time. But if there's a special date coming up and you want to communicate with them, that could be like the olive branch. Do you know what I mean? I'm used to getting my way, but you put me in my place. So perhaps even you might have said something to them along the lines of, especially if you thought that this was over, no second chances, you might have really planted the seed that you wanted this person to leave you alone and that you're done with them. So even if you have attempted in some small way to reach out to them, they haven't responded because they were left with that impression that you wanted them to leave you alone, so they did. So for them, you felt like you were used to getting that love back from them. And when you weren't getting it, you tried to initiate communication, but they put you in your place in the sense of, well, you didn't want me, so why are you trying to reach out now? Which is why it's important that if you are planning to reach out to this person, that you're very considerate and decisive about why you're reaching out, not to give mixed messages. understanding the impression you left with them last time, which led them to believe that they should leave you alone. Does that make sense? I'm saying that a lot at the moment, so I don't know why I suddenly feel like I need to go, does that make sense? Okay, so potential future of this, let's go. What is the potential future of this connection, please, angels? Okay. Page of Pentacles. So you got Page of Pentacles too, just like they did in this deck. Very mirrored connection. I think you are quite a loyal person when you aren't having rage issues. Page of Pentacles is about planning too. I think you know, as far as setting the tone for a future for this relationship, you need to be diligent here and really set goals. This person, to feel like you truly are loyal and faithful to them, there needs to be some serious ambition put into, like the effort needs to be shown here. They need to see that you're putting the effort into planning, which you have every intention to. With this deck, it was like you are in planning mode. You're just trying to get your life in order again because of some bad decisions. I think finances are an issue here. So again, if there's distance and you need to travel to this person, things like airfares and places to stay, all that sort of stuff, it's like you want to make sure that you're not overstretching yourself. But I think for that to be the first card out is very good, because it's almost like you want to offer a new beginning to this person, but there needs to be considerate planning involved with it. It can't be something impulsive. The Magician, so manifesting a new beginning here. Again, needing to be resourceful and understand that you need to feel like you're in a good position yourself to come in with this new beginning. If there is serious planning done here and you really set goals and use your willpower to show this person determination and slow and steady dedication, you can actually manifest a very beautiful relationship here. Page of Pentacles really is grounding. It's an offer of a new beginning that's truly grounded in reality. Because yes, there's a lot of things around the divine, but you still live in this 3D reality. You're still living the human experience. So you do need to ground this connection. Because if you're too high up in the consciousness, you're not truly living in the now. 10 of Wands. Burden and stress, anxiety and defeat, burnt out. I think you guys want to let go of the burnout that this created in the past. Let me get one more for that. That's another card of fire. The Star. So to confirm 10 of Wands, you've got the Star. So in the hope of dropping these 10 wands that you're carrying around on the back of your shoulders, like drop the burdens. I think this person gives you inspiration too and faith that a new beginning can happen here. It's about maintaining positivity and knowing that you can make this wish come true. You can manifest a new beginning with this person. It's about really focusing on your healing and also understanding that there needs to be healing between the two of you as well. Six of Swords. Perfect. Moving on to calmer waters. That's to confirm Page of Pentacles. You want to offer a grounded, stable relationship for this person and leave behind the damage of the past. Not by not addressing it. It needs to be addressed, but to move forward that needs to be addressed. Then you can leave it behind and really have this beautiful, manifest this beautiful, hopeful, wish fulfillment type relationship. And this is also a card of travel. So for that to confirm the Page of Pentacles, I think the future of this would be you traveling to this person. But again, planning needs to be put in place here. This can't be something that's done in a rush or impulsively. It needs to be really, it's like you set the goal, even if it's like you travel to see this person for a while, whenever you can get breaks in work or whatever the situation is. And then the long-term goal is to make a permanent move towards them. Because rushing here would create burdens. The Magician. 5 of Wands, so conflict and ego. I think here, if you're worried about repeating the past, that's why this can't be rushed. Your aggression, your tendency towards aggression and the tension that it builds, I think that's where your willpower comes into play. Because 555 again, recognizing when your ego is starting to take a hold of you. And also recognizing that you don't always need to be right. If there's conflict, because it's not like there's never going to be conflict with this person ever again. It's how you face that conflict. So during conflict, if you find yourself being triggered and that rage building up inside you and that need to win the argument instead of actually soothing the situation, recognizing that and dealing with it differently this time is using your willpower, and that will actually reflect to you that you actually have made big steps in your healing. Even if it is that you two have be like, we're not getting anywhere in this exact moment, so let's take a breath and have a bit of space and then come back in an hour or two and really discuss it again. That's okay. It doesn't have to be resolved right then and there, but if you're recognizing that your ego is getting in the way, use that willpower. That's using your resourcefulness. And that just helps you for your own healing as well, recognizing, oh my God, I'm actually am changing, because the old me would have blown up before, but now I'm actually stopping, considering it, and coming back in a calm place. Knight of Wands, to confirm 10 of Wands and the Star. So do not rush this, because that's a card of impulse. And if your immaturity caused you to be impulsive before, like rushing to get to the finish line instead of setting a goal and working towards it, slow and steady wins the race. I think your tendency towards being hot-tempered as well, and your rebellious nature, makes you want to just rush into things because you have so much emotion. And as well, before when I was talking about ego, you might naturally have a very charming way of speaking where you can talk your way out of everything or anything. You don't want to use those charming, immature, impulsive tendencies towards this person if you truly want long-term success. So the future of this is potentially very beautiful if you can work on these things. It's like 50-50. Half of them are good cards, half of them they're not bad. It's just more of like, you need to have self-awareness and understand when your impulsive nature is taking over, like your ego and your being hot-tempered. And when I look at this motorbike too, I'm feeling that rushing feeling. Not letting your emotions consume you, where you're trying to force things too quickly on this person, when if you're going to spend the rest of your lives together, yes, I understand that it's like you want to make up for lost time, and that you've all this time you've been apart, you've missed them. It's like you want to just speed things along, but understanding that for long-term success, you need to actually set goals and show, especially if were impulsive and immature in the past, show this person that you've changed now and that you're not rushing things again for them to implode again. Because you will have justice in the situation. There has been consequences and karma for your actions, and I think you're reflecting on that now, but if you have integrity this time and you really show this person that you're willing to put the effort in, this actually can be very successful. I just want to see, in this moment, what are your feelings? In this very moment, what is this collective's feelings, please? I still don't have all the answers, and that's fine. That's why having goals is important, because it's like, okay, so say if your goal is to move towards this person, but you're not going to rush that yet. Plan for some trips in the meantime to really develop or redevelop this foundation with this person. And over time, solutions to the things you don't have answers to will reveal themselves. Let me have you. So at the moment, I think you're still trying to work through the things that trigger you. Again, I said in the beginning, I think these are epiphanies you're having now and you're working through them. And that is why they said it's not the right time, because this is new things to you. These are new developments you're having. So at the moment, you're very like, you're straddling the fence a bit right now with it. But you do know you want this person, but because you don't have all the answers yet, you don't really know what comes next. But you just know that you do love this person, that they're your person, and that you want to travel towards them, but you don't really know what else to do right now. And on the bottom, you've got, you hurt me, but that's okay, I guess. So I think you're still a bit stuck in your mind about the ways this person hurt you. It could be that you're still kind of playing the victim a little bit and thinking that, like, you don't want to come in and communicate with this person to be like, I did this to you because you did this to me, that tit for tat. I think there's still, and maybe that's why that Knight of Wands came out, because there's still a little bit of emotional immaturity here. But again, you're going through a transformation. 555, you know that there are still some kinks to be worked out here. And that is also why they might be saying next year or the new year, because over the next few months, you'll be working out these things. Instead of playing the blame game and blaming this person for your bad treatment, you'll be reflecting on, seek professional help, you'll be reflecting on why you behave the way you do, why you repress your feelings the way you do, why you let things build up to the point where you explode and are hot-tempered instead of expressing things as they occur so that it can be soothed in the moment in a calm way instead of letting things build up. And also not letting outside interferences affect your connection. And that takes some time. It's not something you're going to do overnight. So something that this person did to hurt you is still on your mind. You're focusing a bit too much out on the situation still instead of doing the internal work. Okay, so I just want to get a divine door to close this out. And as well, if there's a special date coming out and you're going to communicate to this person, you don't want your first line of communication to be like reaching out on a special date to blame them for something. Like that's not something you want to do if you want to reconcile. Okay. Closing messages, please, for this collective. Closing messages. messages for this collective. I feel like this is a timeless reading. Normally I'll say what the date is and the day and all that stuff, but because of the whole there being a special date, I'm feeling called to say this is timeless. So whenever you do see this, it's not tied to a specific date. It's whenever you see this, that's when you're meant to see it. It still applies to you. Even if you see this months later to when I posted it, it can still apply to you. Oh, we got two this time. Hummingbird Song and A Stranger's Grace. Okay. Ego fears the sudden danger. Your ego, I think, is something you really need to work on at the moment. But never underestimate the kindness of a loving stranger. So you might be about to encounter someone that really makes you reflect on the ego that you are so bound by at the moment. Hummingbird Song, nectar of sweetness, enjoy it brings, the hummingbird's healing as medicine it sings. So maybe you've been maybe you're someone that really feels a lot of healing from music, dancing, singing in the shower, that sort of thing. There's something around music that is going to bring that joy out in you again and really reflect on the happier times, and also just in general getting perspective again. It's not all doom and gloom. Okay. Oh, on the bottom, palmistry, fortune and tarot, collective destiny. The palm lines from birth tell your sacred palmistry. So you might be about to get your palm read, or you've had your palm read before, or maybe you've had another message in regards to palm reading that has reflected this similar kind of message to you about you can have the relationship you want, but you just need to work on your ego, and that divine timing is at play here. So that's the message. Hopefully there's some gems in there that you can reflect on, and this will help you as far as taking steps back towards this person.